I'll just start with, I thought that was certainly a tale of two halves for us, but we just came on the road and beat a good team in their gym by 18, and with a young team that has a lot of guys just getting used to playing college basketball. I thought across the board it was a great win for us. The first half, we obviously came out clicking on all cylinders offensively. We were getting the ball to the rim, we were knocking the ball down from outside, and when we're hitting threes like that with the guys we have that can get to the rim, we're a tough team to cover. I thought our defensive focus was terrific from the start, making them shoot the shots really trying to keep the ball on with Dean, and he's tough to stop when he gets going downhill. But try to make him a scorer as much as we could, and then I really in the second half, offensively we were just kind of clunky the whole half, and I thought we were a little bit careless on our end. I think they tried to pressure the ball a little bit more, which bothered us. We were running our offense from 30 feet from the basket, but maintained the defensive focus and never really gave up any easy ones to them, or very few easy baskets. So we told the guys afterwards, if we would have played the second half first and the first half second, we'd have a different feeling in the locker room right now. But overall, it's a nice win for us, and again, plenty we can learn from it. Marty, you're muted, Marty.
Hey, Coach Marty here. Can you talk about Miguel Harvey's play? It just seemed like in every phase he played great tonight.
Absolutely, he was terrific. And again, Ben was battling foul trouble the whole night. He just could never really get into a rhythm, and Miguel was outstanding on both ends of the floor. He really protected the rim for us, and had what did he have tonight? 4 block shots. He had 6 offensive rebounds, and just constantly was a presence around the basket on both ends of the floor. Played 29 minutes. It was really, really impressive to see. He just keeps getting better here. As our season's moving forward, and tonight was another really good performance by him.
And talk about Thornton Scott as well. 11 of your 17 baskets in the first half were assisted, and I would think that had to please you, along with his play overall.
Yeah, we were sharing the ball really, really well, and again, we were knocking down threes at a high clip, and like I said, when we can do that, we're a tough team to guard. Thornton did a great job facilitating tonight. He had 8 assists and 3 turnovers, and probably 1 or 2 of those he could clean up. But just did a really nice job just controlling the floor for us again, and getting the balls to guys in spots where they could be successful.
And last of all, talk about the defensive play, which, again, particularly in the first half, you were not letting them get to the basket in the same way you wouldn't allow George Washington to get to the basket in the second half and overtime.
Yeah, this is a hard team to guard because Dean is really good at penetrating, and then they put shooters around him. So, we put a lot of onus on the guy covering him, which in the first half was Yuri and Luke a lot. And I think that Hampton probably settled for a few more jump shots than they would have liked. And those were the ones that we wanted them to take. The second half, they were able to get to the rim a little more than I'd like to see. But with a team that shoots the ball as well as this team does from 3, and they're one of the higher percentage teams in the country in terms of their points from 3 coming into the game. We held them to 1 for 7 tonight, which I thought was a really, really key stat for us, and was really pleased with that effort.
Is your team at least as good or even better defensively at this point than you expected?
That's a good question. I don't know that I would say that they are yet. I think that we we tweaked a couple of things when we came back from quarantine that I think has helped us. And we certainly it really helps to have a guy like Mikel back there who can protect the rim. And Ben was really good against GW with his ball screen coverage. He was out, he was moving, keeping the ball in the paint that way. So we've got some bigs that can bring some versatility. And really, I think the two things we've done in the last games that have been the biggest difference from the Old Dominion game has been keeping teams out of transition and making them face that set defense, that half-court D. And, we were able to do that again tonight for most of it. And a lot of that stems from playing really good offense.
Has it been your experience, or do you find sometimes when a team has a first half like you guys did, hitting so many, 14 of your first 21 overall, and I think your first 7 threes or something like that? I mean, obviously you're not going to sustain that for 40 minutes. But do you find that it's hard for the team to keep that focus when the shots start to not to fall like that?
I do. I think it's a challenge because you have such an emotional high feeling when you're playing that way, and and every team's been in those moments where you just feel like you can do kind of whatever you want, and we had that going for a little while. I think the thing that we did in the second half that was probably the most frustrating with it is we turned it over. We had 15 turnovers in the second half, and there were a lot of those that were really, really careless. We weren't organized like we should have been a few times. Missed more shots, we probably wouldn't feel as down as you do when you turn it over that much.
I mean, granted, this is only your third game, but I think this is the first time you played that you had everyone available, right?
Yes.
And you're starting to get a sense for your rotation now, are you?
Yeah, I think so. It was great to have Connor back, and obviously Thornton's first game was at GW, so this was the first one with everybody, and I think we're starting to settle into a little bit of a rotation, and we've got a number of guys that can play, and we got guys that have versatility at the on the perimeter, and then we got Ben and Mikel up front going back and forth. So I like the way this group is coming along. I think guys are playing really, really well together. I think that was probably the thing that stuck out the most in the first half. And as we continue to hopefully move forward with the full healthy roster, we can keep building on this.
Has Mikel, I don't know if surprised is the right word, but obviously he was not this player that he is now last year. Has his progress from last year to this year, has it surprised you any, or did you see it coming in practice?
Well, I think that he just hasn't had the opportunity, and he had a lot of practices last year where he was really good, but he's playing behind the guy that's playing for the Atlanta Hawks right now. So, and another guy in Andy Van Vliet who's playing professionally, is going to for a long time as well. So, he showed some really strong promise last year. I think what's been great to see is that he's come out and he's really performed in games, and that's the one thing that sometimes can take a little bit longer for guys, but he's really he comes out and he plays the game like it's a practice and just goes out and does what he does really well. So it's been really fun to see him play that way.
Of course, this time a year ago, if Luke Lowy would have scored 20 points, it would have been the first thing we would have talked about. But now it's almost expected, maybe not necessarily expected, but it's not a big shock anymore. But he seems to be on a nice roll for you to start this season.
He is. He's really playing well offensively. I think he's done a terrific job of playing efficiently within our offense and finding some spots where he can be more aggressive, which we need him to be, and create create offense for himself or for others. So, he had another phenomenal game tonight. He made a big three in the second half when we obviously were not in a good flow at all. And I was proud of his leadership as we kind of, we're just struggling in that second half. He was talking to the guys and say, hey, stay the course. We just got to keep going, doing what we're doing. And he's been around a long time, so he he knows that it's not very often that you go into somebody else's building and leave with an 18-point win.
Not bad for a Packers fan, huh?
Yeah, well, we all have our crosses to bear, Dave.
I was going to say he kind of reminds me of Aaron Rodgers out there.
Oh, don't do that to me. Don't do that to me.
Well, Pete Clausen showed up. Hi.
What's up, Pete?
Hey, Coach.
Hey, Coach. Good job tonight.
Thanks.
Can you talk a little bit about Quinn Blair's night tonight? He had 14, obviously shot the ball pretty well. He's been assertive in shooting the ball all season long. Can you talk about his growth along those lines?
Yeah, absolutely. Quinn was really good tonight, especially in the first half. He played really, really well there. I think the thing that he's done that's really helped him, he is playing with an aggressive mindset, and he starts his game offensively by trying to get to the rim. And he's tough to cover because he is big and physical. He's oftentimes guarded by a four-man, and he can really drive the ball. So I think he's done a really nice job of focusing on that, that aspect of getting to the rim. And then he's taken really good threes. He's a really good shooter from the three-point line. So he's played really well for us here to start the year.